in the society that 498A is only about dowry, but that's not true. There is the line that says that only women can file case against the husband. Why there is no such law, in the hands of the men? If any man is suffering from violence, why cannot?
Justice is due. Well, this is what Atul Subhash wrote on every page of his suicide note. An AI engineer from Jaunpur, Uttar Pradesh, Atul Subhash, died by suicide at his Bengaluru home, and he left behind a 24-page suicide note wherein he alleged that his wife and in-laws were harassing him, extorting money from him on the pretext of false cases. Now, this case has sparked a debate. #Men2 is trending on social media because we often talk about women but not men. Hello and welcome to India TV. I am Shivangi, and to talk about the legalities of this case, we have with us advocate from Supreme Court, Kanika Bhardwaj. Hello Kanika, welcome to India TV. Kanika, if we talk about this case, amid this whole debate, there is a question going about Section 498A of IPC. So please tell our viewers about this particular section and how it can be misused.
So see, when we talk about Section 498A, so there's a myth in the society that 498A is only about dowry, but that's not true. 498 is also about dowry, but it is also about cruelty. It is also about mental torture, about humiliation, about abuses, violence and everything. So as per Section 498A, if husband or the relatives of husband or his friends or his parents commit any kind of cruelty against the wife, then this particular section is attracted, and there is definitely an imprisonment of 7 years or more, and there is also a fine. So this section involves dowry, but this section is much more wider. So this is also one of the reasons why this section is highly being misused, because there are no laws against the wife. Each and every law, if we talk about domestic violence law, and even if in domestic violence law there is the line that says that only women can file case against the husband. Husband cannot file case against the wife. So I think this particular line can be amended or changed. You should mention spouse. So even the husband is also covered, because when we talk about domestic violence or any sort of violence, humiliation, it is not the case right now in the present that only wives are being harassed, or even there is only violence against the wife. Right. Even the men are suffering violence. Even the men are suffering from cruelty, and they don't have any options in their hand. They don't have any remedies. They cannot do anything. They cannot file any case against wife, but the wife can file 5 to 7 cases against the husband and his parents and his relatives and friends, but men do not have any rights. So this is one of the biggest loophole. This is not only a loophole in 498A, but this is the loophole in entire law, I must say, that why there is no such law in the hands of the men. If any man is suffering from violence, why cannot he go to the court and move the court? So obviously his fundamental rights are also being violated. I do not talk about the basic matrimonial laws, but his fundamental rights are being violated in here, because a man does not have any right. He cannot move Supreme Court or any of the court, trial court. He cannot do any FIR, or even if he goes to file an FIR, the police officials they deny to take the FIR because it's a matrimonial issue. They always say that no, it's a matrimonial issue, we cannot register your complaint or we cannot register your FIR. And obviously corruption is also there at the ground level. We cannot forget about that. So yes, all these things are there because of which these sections are highly being misused, and definitely we want the laws for men as well.
Moving on, Kanika, if we talk about Atul Subhash, if there is someone else who is trapped in a similar situation, what would you recommend? What steps he could take?
Yeah, so when I have studied this particular case a lot, and I know the facts of the case, and in this particular case, the thing that Atul has missed is that he has made a decision too soon, because the trial court orders are not the final orders. The family court orders are not the final orders. You can always go and challenge that order in High Court, and then you can always go for the review of the orders also, and then you can go to the Supreme Court also. So these are not final orders, and he has made the decision too soon that he cannot get any justice. But there can be a possibility, there would be a possibility if he would have approached High Court or the higher court or then Supreme Court. He must have got the justice, because because what I have studied is that the wife was claiming 3 crores of alimony, and under no circumstances she would get 3 crores of alimony, that I'm sure about. Because when we talk about alimony or maintenance laws, the court actually sees that what financial capacity the husband has and what is the capacity of the wife, and then there is a detailed income affidavit filed, and they see the lifestyle of both the parties and the lifestyle of the child, that in which school he studies and what is the fees of the school. And after considering all these factors only, the court passes any order. So I think that he would have gotten justice if he would have gone to High Court or the higher court, but I think he has taken decision too soon. But again, I do not deny that there are that these laws are not being misused. These laws are definitely being misused, and there must be some rights and there must be some balance in which we can just have a fair trial. The laws should not be biased, and the laws should be fair for all, I believe.
Kanika, moving on now that Atul has, he's no more. What all options does his family now have, and in what direction will this case move forward?
See, right now, as the development of the case is that the family members of Atul have filed the case against the girl and her family members under abatement to suicide, which is 308 of BNS, which again attracts imprisonment. But then again, there is something which I feel is unfair, because when I compare this particular case to another similar case which has happened recently, is where one of the pilots, she was a lady and she committed suicide, and there was no evidence, there was no note, there was no video, and the police officials, they assumed, and the society assumed, that this suicide has been committed just because of there was a fight with her boyfriend or her live-in partner. And then at the very moment the police went to his home, the boyfriend's home, and they arrested him without any evidence. But the similar case happened in the Atul case, just because he's a man, and same case, same section, everything is same, but there is no arrest till date.
Yeah, there is a 24-page suicide note, no video. There was a video as well, but no arrest yet.
No arrest yet. There is a primary evidence. I mean, there is a note, as you said, and there is a video, there are photographs, everything is there. There are records, but still there is no arrest. So why such unfair means? I mean, why there is discrimination? So this is it's very sad to see all such kind of things, because similar section, similar kind of a case, and still in one case you go and arrest somebody just because the girl has committed suicide, but in the other case, because the guy has committed suicide, you do not do anything, and you are just on the page of investigation, interrogation, you are doing questioning. So I think the arrest must have been made. At least there must be remand of few days, so that the actual facts and actual evidence might have come on record, and the evidence is not being tampered, because at this point of time, when the girl and her family knows that a case has been registered against them, they must be tampering the evidences. They must be deleting their chats and everything. They must be constantly doing something which may tamper the evidences. So at least there must be 2-3 days of PC remand, so that their phones can be confiscated, or something should be, definitely when the question and answers are done by police officers, the evidence must have been be there on the record in a better way rather than what is actually, because they are constantly doing something to tamper the evidences. So very sad to see that similar cases, but in one case arrest has been made, another case arrest has not been made. So I think this is very sad at this point of time, and I think there should be an immediate arrest at this point of time.
Kanika, how long do you think that it will take to resolve this case?
Definitely it's a long process, because the fast track courts, when we talk about the fast track courts, it is only in the case of rape cases and the cruel and very serious crime against women. But we come to the men rights and everything, and matrimonial cases, there are no fast track courts as of now. There is no provision of fast track courts, so it's going to take time, and it may take years and years to a judgment will come. Right now the case is on the interrogation stage, the charge sheet will be made, the evidence will be there on record, and then the court will decide that whether this is abatement use suicide or this is not abatement use suicide. So it's going to take time right now, but as I said, that this is very unfair that in some of the cases you take immediate actions, and in some of the cases you do not take any actions just because on the basis of the gender. I mean, one is male, one is female, just on the basis of that. This is also violation of fundamental rights, I believe. So very sad, and I think this must be corrected.
Kanika, moving apart from the legalities of this case, in his suicide note, Atul Subhash mentioned, he alleged that he was asked to pay 5 lakhs to settle the case. So what do you have to say about the corruption, that the allegation of corruption that he has made on the judiciary system?
This is also very sad, but kind of, I cannot say that all judges are, but somehow the police officers are also involved in the corruption. When you talk about corruption, not only the judges, there is no evidence against the judge that whether she has demanded money or not. There is no evidence on record as of now. But if I start from the very ground level, when the 498A case is registered, the girl has to go to a CAW cell, and then the case is registered. So the first line of when the case starts is from the police officers. In this particular case, if you will see the FIR, there is not only 498A, there is also murder charges. Yeah. Why murder? For what reasons? There is also the charges of unnatural sex, right, and some more such charges related to sexual harassment, all these things without any evidence. How can you frame a murder charge against the husband and the family members? Why there is unnatural sex charges there? So the police officials are also involved, and they are also to be held responsible for such kind of things, because how can you register a particular section or FIR when you do not have any evidence? I agree that 498A can be there. There can be some sort of cruelty, because we also have to see the other side of the story. It is not possible that there is a possibility that maybe there was some cruelty, some violence, maybe the in-laws used to influence the husband, or there must be some intervention of the relatives also. There can be possibility that 498 is there, but without any evidence, how can you frame murder charges? How can you frame unnatural sex offences? So obviously the police officials are also are also liable, and they should also take the responsibility that they deliberately harass the husband and their relatives just to get some amount of money, or just to extort some money from them, because they are very much sure that if they will not harass the husband and relatives, they will not pay anything to the police officials. So just because to extort money and kind of, because see, I am into this profession, I see such cases on daily basis, and I am pretty much sure that the police officials, just to extort money from the husband and relatives, also do such kind of activities. And not only this, they also kind of tame the girl that, do this, we'll do this for you, and we'll get you this amount of money and something like this. So all these factors should also be considered. So not only the judiciary system, but also the police officers and also the society, all these factors has to be taken into consideration when we talk about such cases.
So Kanika, you agree that there's a gender bias going on?
Yes, absolutely. There is no doubt in this. I mean, even when I'm saying that we have to see both the side of the story, but there is no doubt that there is gender biasness in the laws, because in the starting only I said that the laws, the women can file 5 to 7 cases against men. The men do not have any right in his hands, any remedy in his hands, that if he is facing any kind of violence, any kind of cruelty, he cannot go and file any case against the woman. All he can do is just go to the police station and file a normal complaint that this has been happening. But the police officials are also, they do not take it very seriously, since it's a matrimonial issue. Nobody wants to get involved, and they would not take it very seriously. That and this is a fact that the ground level, the people on the ground level, they do not take all such kind of things very seriously. When the men complains and when the woman complains, everybody's like, oh my God, what has happened? The woman has to be saved, right? Which is correct in some aspect, that because there is no doubt that the crime against women has not, eradicated at this point of time. There is crime against women. Every third or fourth household has domestic violence case against women. But I just want that, something should be balanced when we talk about gender biasness. Yes, there is definitely gender biasness. We want more laws which, safeguard men also. But just because of men rights, we should not, somehow shadow the actual women rights, because I do not want that the actual women who are suffering should suffer in this way. I mean, this can be a sympathy game also, because since now the suicide has come up, and everywhere in media everybody showing only one side of the story, not the other side of the story. So there is a sympathy also. So all these things should not actually somehow shadow the genuine cases, the genuine rape cases, the genuine domestic violence and dowry cases, because dowry deaths are still prevailing in India. Domestic violence is still prevailing in India. But something to balance it out, that if a girl files a false case against men, then definitely there should be some consequence of that. I mean, she should not be let free, because in particular cases, I mean, the men gets defamed, gets humiliated, gets financially burdened, overburdened, I should say, and then obviously the harassment is to the next level that only that person can understand. We cannot understand at this point of time. So yes, some laws in favor of men, so that if a girl files any false case against men, some remedy in his hands, that he can at least go to the court and say that yes, this has happened to me. Right now, the men has been zipped up by the law. There is nothing in their hands.
Kanika, we already have a National Commission for Women, but there is now a growing demand for National Commission for Men. What's your view on that?
Definitely, I don't think it's a bad idea or a bad move that if there is a National Commission for Women, if we considering the suicides rate of men in matrimonial cases, and because of the harassment of the women, there is no doubt that such cases are increasing day by day, and false cases and false allegation by women against men are definitely increasing and are on hike. So why not a commission for men? I mean, I would totally support that, and I would say that yes, there can be a commission for men as well. And apart from that also, I always say that the very good remedy that which is there in my mind is that prenup agreements. I always talk about prenup agreements before marriage, because in Western countries prenup agreement is valid, but in India prenup is not valid. So prenup agreement is something that before the marriage only you decide that in case the marriage doesn't work, so this can be the financial bifurcation. This are the rights of the woman and this are the rights of the husband, right? So the bifurcation is already there in the agreement. Apart from that, there is always a question that this amount of dowry you have given. There is a dispute on the dowry amount, dowry articles. So there is in prenup agreement it is already there that what exactly you have taken and what exactly you have not taken. So there can be no lies and no false allegations in the starting only. So prenup agreements if made valid in India, I think that can be a game changer.
Well, thank you, Kanika, for answering all our questions. And for our viewers, if you have any opinion on this, then do comment and let us know. Till then, keep watching India TV.